Greetings, everyone. Some of the things that I'm going to say in this video might offend some of us, especially women, but I feel I have no choice. I have to put the spotlight on women because it is women that are being discriminated against or abused or worse, annihilated in Jamaica. Now, when I think about Jamaica, the beautiful landmass, oh, what a blessed place. But when I think about some of the events and the people that are living in Jamaica, it reminds me of a Friday the 13th video. Hence, I set this video to run for 13 minutes because what I am seeing and hearing is just a repeat of what was happening last year and the year before that. I want to talk to the ladies in this video, and I'm going to say to the women of Jamaica, I am putting it fairly and squarely at your feet. The solution for the problems that women face in Jamaica rests with you and you alone. If you're going to lie down on your back and not do anything about it, expect to get effed. Okay? Now, another young lady turns up in Portmore in a very terrible situation. Another family faces this anguish of losing a loved one through some carelessness or some evil intention of a man. Now, I got a man in my life, so I'm not anti-man. I have guy friends and I have brothers and, all kinds of relationship with men, positive relationship with men. So this is not an attack on all men, but it is allowing you to stay focused, women, to say, okay, this is what we are facing. And obviously, if it was important to the men in the society, it would have to stop. Now, I'm going to talk to you ladies and I'm going to address some things that you have to first start to change. A lot of us young girls out here, and I say us, not me, because I'm a grown woman, but I'm talking about the young girls in Jamaica that are getting involved in some habits that you need to understand that it's not when I was a young girl, I could have done these things and gotten away with it. When I was a young girl, if I had the intention of ripping off a guy, I could have gotten away with it because, at the time they were called boops. But today, these guys or these men, the mentality they have are of gangsterism is one that does not allow you to come out here and tell yourself that you're going to use them. You're going to lure them with your sexy looks. You're going to put on all the nice things that cleave to your body and you're going to flaunt your lovely self and then get their money and expect that when you collect the money, these ones are going to say, oh, well, while I was with her, the time I spent with her was so wonderful and now she's moved ahead. Every woman has the right to say no. And every woman has the right to say, I don't want this anymore. But having said that, I want to say to the young ladies, those of you who say, oh, this guy is a sugar daddy, I'm just going to play these games. I'm going to take his money and I'm going to, just dump him and mock him with my friends. It's not that kind of world anymore. I'm going to speak to the mothers. There are a lot of licky mothers in Jamaica who put their beautiful daughters out there and encourage them to lure men and use men and discard them. Now, when you do that and you lose your child to a monster, you got yourself to thank. So while you're crying and you're grieving for your child, understand that you are part of the problem, that you are also not the one that perhaps, ended their life, but you are the one who put them on the journey, put them on the path to that end. Mothers, stop selling your daughters. Stop encouraging them to go and use men. It's not a good thing. Young girls, it's not very nice. It's not very kind for you to latch onto some man, use them and discard them as you please. Yes, it is your body. Yet you have the freedom. Yes, the man is an adult and understood that should know at least that nothing is permanent. But these men are unstable. The society The Jamaican society is one where there are a lot of individuals with mental illness, and we're not justifying these killers and these rapers. I'm just saying that the society is very messed up. If you can't send your little girl to the supermarket and not worry that some predator is going to attack your child, and then you see this every day. Those who are living on the outside are trying to make sense of what's happening in Jamaica, but you live there, you see it. You see, you cannot walk down the road in peace without men trying to touch you, men trying to say disrespectful things to you as you go about your business. And yet, this kind of mentality is still there where you feel like you can play with fire and not get burned. Now, in terms of these young ladies missing and these young persons who are getting hurt are worst time after time after time, stop expecting the leaders in the country to care. Their daughters are not missing. Their wives are not missing. Their children are secure. They don't care about what you're going through. It doesn't affect them. They don't understand it. The truth is, if they understood it by experience, they would have taken more steps to end it. So you can't wait for government. Not even the female in government in Jamaica doesn't care about women getting missing or women getting raped or violated. They don't care, because when women care, action is taken. And that's why I'm saying to the ladies, start cleaning up your household, clean up your own action, and then coming together as a collective. You copy everything you see foreigners do, every little habit, some disgusting habits even. You take that on to you, and all of a sudden you start to say this is yours, and you start to walk in the same pathways as some of these foreigners. And yet you fail to see how women overseas deal with issues like this. If women get turned up, are turning up, dead, let's use the word. Let's keep it real in this one. Let's not worry about YouTube pennies, because the message has to be put out there. In foreign countries, I'm not saying that these women are not dealing with these issues too, but I'm saying if it becomes the problem that I see it is in Jamaica, the women would not wait for men. The women would go out there and demand change. But as women, we're too selfish. We're too self-involved to know that if it happens to Susan, it's only a matter of time before it happens to Jane. But we are waiting for John to come out here and stand up for us, when most of these Johns are the ones that are doing the thing that hurts us so much. So I'm saying here, take responsibility for your own action. But at the same time, come together as women. We spend far too much time disrespecting the other woman. We spend far too much time enabling some of our family members in doing some of the most atrocious things in and on the island. Do you get it? Do you understand? So, after a while, it seemed like an insult to me. You call Jasmine Dean and you call out this other female, and all these years of women losing their lives because of the same reason. Men who are, hateful towards women. A lot of men in Jamaica don't like women. They have relationships with women, but they don't like us. And so they'll do it even in relationships. You see men and women in relationship and years together, and the man has absolutely no respect for his partner. Speak to her anyhow, do anything that will hurt her and embarrass her, and they don't stop. So, once in a while you see a few people come out and they'll speak, strongly. Anything that people in Jamaica want to stop, it has to stop. So when we say look into the authorities taking care of this and putting an end to this, and we're calling upon government and asking what they're going to do, you cannot do that. You have to start with yourself. You start with your own community, your own neighborhood watch. When you know, and everybody knows a rapist in their community, everybody in Jamaica knows the man that is capable of beating a woman or killing somebody. Everybody knows in every community who the bad guys are. and they turn a blind eye. And then they wait until it gets to their doorstep, and then they expect everybody to come and cry with them. And it's the same repetition, the same story. Rest in peace, the same, fake outrage, the same, cry out, oh, and they're not changing their behavior, and they're not changing the environment or the community in which they're living. Listen, I'm not editing this video, and this is not some thesis. I'm just speaking, and I'm a little bit emotional, but I have to roll that back in this one to say, take responsibility for your own life. Stop doing some of the things that you're doing. Stop putting yourself in a situation to get hurt. And someone might disagree and say, well, a woman has a right to step out of a relationship if she doesn't want to be in one. But I'm just saying, if you know that there's a potential fire in that room, you're not going to enter it. And when these young girls and these women are doing the things that they're doing, and they're not protecting themselves by at least using wisdom, a lot of these men are sick. So you cannot play with them. You can't assume, as I was speaking to one of my young friends saying, oh, that person look like a nice sugar daddy. A nice sugar daddy? A nice sugar daddy that have had a lot of bad experiences and decide that the next woman that come into their life and use them, they're going to do some bad things too. It's not that type of world. It's not that type of country. Jamaica is not that place. That was for our great-great-grandparents. But not this time. Women are not loved. People don't look at females and say, oh, they're delicate and they're the softer side of humanity, or the gentle side, or the fragile side. They'll stomp you, they'll punch you, they'll kick you, they'll do all kinds of things to you, and they feel no way. And after they're done doing that, then they come to you and look for comfort. It's not the kind of world where you're protected. Where are black women ever protected? The majority of the women in Jamaica, are black. The bigger part of the population are dark-skinned people, are black people in general. So when were you ever protected in this world? And young girl, why do you think that you're going to be priority, especially if you're in a home where you're poor? Stop looking to men to protect you. Now, also, ladies, let me hurry this up. You start walking with your protection, your pepper spray, and your tools to protect yourself, because nobody else is going to do it. You're just going to be a statistic. And when you are a statistic, after you're buried, nobody is going to be searching to find out who did that to you for the most part. Protect yourself. Be smart. Ladies, I really empathize with you. But I have to say that as long as you continue to just sit there and be complacent, this will continue to happen. Stay blessed, everybody. Have a wonderful